To begin, I would like all of you to close your eyes. Imagine being somewhere where you don't have to worry about anything, where what you do all depends on you. You don't have to worry about boundaries. You don't have to worry about what people think or what people say. Now keep that place in your mind. Now picture a place where there is boundaries, where you have limits, where whatever you want to do or what you need to do, you have to go through somebody else to accomplish. Now open your eyes. How many of you have a car on campus? How many of you don't have a car on campus? Either way it goes, we are at college. And college is a place where you're supposed to be preparing to be independent and preparing to be adults. Having a car makes you feel like you're doing something. It's never good to feel trapped, and it's never good to have to rely on other people to always take you places, especially when you're trying to mature. I believe that all college students should have a car on campus because it's convenient, beneficial, and it teaches you to become independent. I feel like all of you relate to this topic. Whether you have a car on campus or not, you can all take from this, because whether you're the person who has the car or the person that's not, in a way, you deal with the issue. If you're the person who has the car, you're the person that's always being asked to take someone somewhere. And at some point, you may not really care at first, but eventually you'll get to the point where it's like, when is this person going to have their own? Secondly, if you're the person without the car, you get sick of always asking someone for a ride and always depending on other people. It's okay to lean on other people and depend on other people sometimes, but at one point you have to get to the point where you learn to be on your own and not always lean on someone else. I feel I am credible to tell you about this, not only because of my research, but also because of personal experience. I know people on campus who have cars, as well as people on campus without cars. I hear how people with cars say sometimes they wish they were the ones without it because they wouldn't have to feel like they're being used. I can see where they're coming from with that. Whether being used or not, when someone's always calling you, asking you to take you somewhere, after a while, it just gets annoying. Being the person without the car, it makes you wonder, like, when will I be able to say, I have my own? Personally, I do not have my car on campus. And it affects me because I've always been independent. I've always been the type of person to want to do things on my own and not worry about anybody else. I have a car, but I don't have it on campus, and that's a whole different story. First, I will be talking about college and how it prepares you to gain independence. And then I will talk about why I feel like a car is a necessity to have on college. So what about college? As a college student, you are beginning to prepare for the future. And being able to prepare for the future, you must be independent. Being independent comes along with handling your business, being responsible, and being self-sufficient. So what is handling your business? When you're caught up in college and you always have papers to do, you always have assignments, you always have finals, after a while you begin to feel overwhelmed. You begin to have stress. And there's negative and positive ways to take that out. I feel like having a car is a positive way. Even if you're not going around driving, you can always just go to your car and chill out. You don't have to worry about anyone else being around. It's just you and your car. You can just take time to breathe and relax. Or if you are that person that needs to go for a walk, you can always drive to the mall. That's not too far from campus. You can walk some stress out there, or you can just drive around and get things out of your mind. And I feel like that's important in college life because it always seems like something is going on. And I feel like there's always a point in time where someone's going to need a break. According to Patrick St. Michael, from Owning a Car on Campus, he says that owning a car on campus is good because college is stressful and having a car gives you that route to escape. Work ranges from school to the real world. Not only are you working in school, but if you have a job, you're obviously working. You have people who work on campus as well as people who work off of campus. If you work on campus, that's fine, but if you work off campus and you don't have a car, how are you going to get to work? Yes, you have the bus, and yes, you have people that can take you there. But I mean, if you're already in college doing what you're supposed to do, which most of you should be, and you have a job, it's like not having a car is kind of a big setback when you're trying to get out there, but you're still depending on other people in some form of your life, and that's not always cool. Pause and Clause, editor-in-chief, states that when you have a car, you don't have to worry about waiting on a bus or friends to take you anywhere. Another source, Alex Dayton, a student from New York, says that a car makes you feel mobile. He goes on to state that a car makes you take away from feeling lonely as well as feeling trapped. If you're feeling trapped, you're not going to get anywhere. In order to be prepared and in order to go into the world, you have to be free. There is a level of responsibility that is involved in becoming independent, and I believe that a car will help you to become responsible. When you have a car, you're not only responsible for yourself. Stated by Sam Sotosanto from Pause and Clause also. Obviously, we all know that when there's more than just you in your vehicle, you're responsible for everyone in that vehicle. This causes you to be responsible because it makes you think about your actions, and it also makes you think about how you're driving. Another source says that upkeeping of your car on campus depends on you. This was said by Amy Laura Kalo from Pros and Cons of Cars on Campus. I believe this is true. When you have a car on campus, you don't have nobody around watching you to make sure that your car is safe. You have to make sure that you follow by the guidelines, you park where you're supposed to park, you drive how you're supposed to drive. You stray away from trying to have accidents or anything that could be detrimental to you having your car on campus. So it teaches you to be responsible so that you can keep your car on campus. All of this may sound like a lot, but it's a part of being self-sufficient. And being self-sufficient is a part of being independent. And being independent is what we as college students should be working towards. We don't need to depend on other people. According to John Dudig's article about cars on campus, he says that having a car on campus enables you to relate to your community. I feel like this is important, especially for freshmen to start off, because when you're coming into a college, be it from out of state or just a great distance from home, you're not really aware with your surroundings. You're not really aware with the environment. And having a car on campus will help you to be able to become familiar, which then in return may cause you to be more comfortable with where you are. So what did I discuss? I talked about how having a car on campus can cause you to be responsible, independent, and self-sufficient, which is all needed to be in college. This is why I feel like we should have a car. I also explained how having a car on campus can be beneficial. College students should have their own cars on campus because in the long run, it's more convenient, beneficial, and it causes you to become independent. College is a time for growth and becoming a young adult. But to become a young adult, you have to get out there. You have to take on techniques to try to become an adult. You have to be responsible. You have to be independent. But all that comes from learning. And I feel like having a car will help you learn this because it's a great responsibility involved in that. So like I said, in order to be an adult and to grow, you have to get out there. What better way to get out there than having a car?